Axis Tech Talks, dezbaterea online dedicată specialiștilor din domeniul securității și nu numai. Reprezentanții Axis Communication România, lider global în echipamente video de rețea, te invită să urmărești opiniile celor mai importanți parteneri locali ai companiei, fie că sunt distribuitori, integratori sau clienți finali. Emisiunile au în vedere specificul industriei, oportunitățile și provocările pieței sau diferite alte subiecte care te preocupă, ajutându-te să fii cu un pas înainte.
Hi, my name is Monica and I'm here to moderate Axis Tech Talk show. We are happy to welcome you today together with Bogdan Gavril as a host. Hi Bogdan.
Hello Monica, very nice to see you.
Bogdan is the sales engineer at Axis Communication and trainer for Axis Academy in Central and Eastern European countries. And our special guest, it is Pavel Kotza, Business Development Manager at CamStreamer. Welcome, Pavel.
Oh, thank you for having me. Good day.
Pavel is joining us from Czech Republic, from Prague. First of all, I would like to introduce CamStreamer as a smart backup application which use in-camera hardware, often known as intelligence on the edge. What is special about CamStreamer? The application is using exclusively Axis Communication IP cameras for streaming. So Pavel, which are the real benefits of having an open platform for both end users and developers?
It's all started like more than a decade ago when our CEO was discussing with the Axis some project, some development project, and then the idea of grabbing the feed from the camera and streaming it somewhere outside the security system came into the mind. And that was the initial idea. The initial idea is how to access and use the video from the security camera to be able to see it somewhere else. So it's all started from the initial idea, an initial request, having the possibility to watch the security camera or IP camera video somewhere else except the security system. So it's all started by making a CamStreamer app, and then through the years we have added Cam Overlay, CamScriptor, and latest Store Occupancy Manager.
And
sorry, Monique, if I can, just 1 second. I remember, it was very funny. We all started in '96, developing the first IP camera, in the world. And, we just made this nice video in which we were showing that the reason to get a camera, it was actually to be able to stream something, over the internet in a easy manner. And speaking with David Kapushek on this topic, and going back in the time, like 8 years ago, I remember the enthusiasm, of having such a strong platform, like Axis camera application platform, and trying to see the real benefits of being able to develop a software module that would actually get a true value for the camera itself, like the purpose of security, and move it to a completely different direction without needing anything else. So I think that, as Pavel was mentioning very well, the dream became true, for all the customers out there, in the need of a broadcasting platform without the cost of, professional equipment. So thank you guys once again for doing miracles with our hardware. Thank you.
The fact is that maybe we should thank the Axis, because they made the platform which is like taking care of the security issues, all the administration, and having some kind of an API or whatever we're gonna call it, so we can build the apps, or anyone else can build the apps based on the hardware and the chipset, and using even the ACAP platform of the Axis for sharing the app. So there is a lot more developers joining on the ACAP platform, and maybe we as a CamStreamer focused on live streaming, but there is others who are focusing on reading the license plate, counting traffic, and a lot of others. So it's beautiful from the hardware point of view that we have the definition, so we don't interfere with the security measures, while making some interesting apps for these formerly security cameras. Now I would call it general IP cameras.
Definitely. Actually, Axis was built on the idea of having an open platform, and since the beginning, we had this API, application programming interface, which is called VAPIX. And as Pavel, is experiencing a lot, they were able to use our API in order to create whatever it was required for their customers, because the CamStreamer platform was being built as the customers requested. So we became that good together because we were listening to their desires. And there were so many in this amount of time that we were working together. And I think that the true benefit of it is to be able to listen, but in the same time, to have the flexibility of adding value through adding functionalities. So whenever there was a request, I would love to have details about a specific preset of the camera when I'm actually monitoring my city. And then they would say, you know what? I would love to have pictures, like pictograms of the picture, once the camera is joining a specific preset position. They did it. CamStreamer managed to do it in less than 2 months, with all the functionalities there, and we were able to deploy it. And I remember when I saw it the first time, Pavel, on Prague Castle, I was enjoying it so much, and I was showing it in all our events and so on. And people loved it because they see such a great, functionality to be available, because everyone was desiring it, but it was not there yet. Eventually, it became there.
I definitely recommend checking out. It's called Creative Prague, a video on YouTube, where we are combining PTZ position overlays with animations and a beautiful view of Old Town Prague. So search for Creative Prague on YouTube and you will find it.
Great.
Great, I will. And I also visited the CamStreamer website, where I like very much the area of live gallery. What is the purpose of this special project, and how is it structured?
It's all started in a beginning, a couple of years ago, as a references. We wanted to show some examples of live streams, and we created on our website section called Live Gallery. So if the stream is publicly available and it's beautiful and we like it and we know it, we might add it to the Live Gallery, where we have 12 categories, I believe: churches, animals, oceans, nature. So you can search by the categories, you can search by full text or on the map by location. And lastly, we have added also searching by camera type. So for example, if somebody doesn't know how does a streaming from V5925 or M1135 looks like, you can go on Live Gallery and select show me only live streams from specific camera model, and you can see how does it looks through the day, through the night. So Live Gallery is now like our references and a platform for sharing some nice examples how to use these in camera apps.
And I think that, Monica, thanks to CamStreamer and Pavel's work and everything which was deployed in the Live Gallery, we have another value proposition for our channel, because whenever we want to emphasize the quality of a camera at daylight, the nighttime, and so on, they're able to check it, and they go and check it. And even though they didn't have an idea of a business opportunity or a customer request in this regards, they see, so those cameras are live all the time. How does it work? So it's the perfect way of doing, multiple approaches towards customers, and they're able to see the quality of the camera. They're able to see, the beauty out in the world, because those cameras are now mounted everywhere in the world. And with those filters that Pavel was mentioning, you're able to find specifics, So if you're having a customer from, I don't know, maybe tourist area, and they want to check Bula Lake, for instance, in Romania, they go there. We have deployed, Pavel, I think it's 5 years ago since we deployed, the Bula Lake cameras, and they're in this beautiful place, and I see them sharing them on Facebook and LinkedIn, because when it starts, snowing for the first time, those are the camera references, for them to see that, ooh, it started to snow in the mountains, and they give it as an example. So I think that, guys, really, you did an amazing job with this. And I see that, more and more cameras are being added there. And I think we have to thank also for our partners because they agreed to give us access to them. But yeah, it's just emphasizing once again how beautiful the solution is, you know, together.
No, thank you very much. I have to say, we just made the app, you know, people came with the idea. So we are just providing the opportunity. And by the way, the huge bird watching community in the United States are adding new and new cameras, and they are also pushing us. They want to add a 4K streaming. They want to add a extremely great audio. So it gives also the pressure on us to be able to add an external audio source, you know, support higher resolutions. Now we have added H.265 support natively. So there is also like as you said, our customers are moving us forward. Of course, sometimes they have some crazy ideas, but they are bringing the ideas. Then we need to make use the common sense if it makes sense, and then just to add it to the apps. And as I said, like for us, if we know that adding the feature is easy for us because we know the core of the camera and all core of the hardware. So for us, it's a really great interconnection between hardware and software.
I remember, Pavel, you know, I was discussing with David some time ago when we actually first launched the panoramic cameras, the P3807, you know, and having 180 degrees coverage, you know, it was very difficult, you know, to handle, you know, on YouTube and so on. And it took, I don't know how much time, but it was not too much, you know, for you guys to be able to develop that. And when it was available, people went crazy. Yeah, but now I can see everything, you know, live, you know, it's, and I don't need to pay that much, and everything is such affordable, and we can make it easy as it can be. Yeah.
And I will just add, just a couple weeks ago, we were playing with live 360 live streaming from Axis camera on YouTube, including the overlays.
But CamStreamer is more than just live streaming. What is CamStreamer's and Axis's approach related for the security and industrial applications? Can you please provide more information and maybe discuss about successful case studies in this area?
I can briefly say, like, you know, we are, as I said, we are having a tool, and if you use it for streaming a sport or use it in industrial sector is just the thing. We have, for example, client like a Honda in the United States, and they are using CamStreamer and CamOverlay for external checking up on industrial production, because they know they are streaming some like a specific place on the products which a quality guys have to check, and they even are using overlay for displaying which specific location on the product they should check. So it's just like the application of the streaming and overlay in an industrial sector. We also have some interaction, for example, with the healthcare. You know, if there is some healthcare machine providing some data, why not to show them directly in the stream? So it's just like, I would say now, CamStreamer and CamOverlay and CamScriptor are like, it should be used not anymore by security and surveillance people, but it should go higher to a product managers and to a marketing guys.
And I would add also the fact that, you know, we are working on several pilots, and CamStreamer was able actually to pull data from live monitoring devices, you know, in hospitals. So you can actually have footages, you know, looking at some rooms and coordinated with that video footages to have direct information being brought up by a video. And in this way, you know, doctors, even though are remotely, you know, going from one location to another, or if they're roaming around, you know, the hospital, they're able all the time to have a look as well on their tablets on the status of their patients. And in industrial, Pavel, you were mentioning something, and I want to say as well that in industrial nowadays, at least, you know, I saw a true interest in having occupancy being monitored. So there are several areas in which you have to have a certain amount of people being present. And if they over exceed that number, to have an alert or to be able to know for sure. So in safety at work, this is very important as well. And CamStreamer is able to pull that data on a monitor inside an industrial environment, and, you know, be able to have a good image of what is happening. So yeah, I see more and more usages of this kind of a scenario, and I think that with the requirements of the customer and being able to listen to their requests, we're able to become better together.
Great. I was thinking to ask you about the retail application with store occupancy manager, and
Pavel?
maybe also in smart city, safe cities also. I think
Okay.
it could be a topic. If you have some examples in this area, could be interesting.
Our latest application, and thank you for the support from your side, guys, because with the request coming from your customers as well, you know, it's all started in March when we went into a first lockdown here in Czech Republic, and immediately, like, we get the feedback from the retailers. You know, we are closing down, you know, how to manage occupancy, we don't know when we will reopen, and based on this, through the March and April, we have developed a completely new store occupancy manager app to be able to handle the reopening. So using the camera, connecting it to the television at the entrance, reading the occupancy data by Axis apps, Axis occupancy estimator, Axis people counter, and providing the information and support for the retailers originally came from the retailers themselves. So Store Occupancy Manager as a ACAP app is the application that you install to camera. You also need to install some counting camera that will count the number of people inside your store. And then based on the limit, you might display the graphics. Yes, we are open, come in, or please wait a couple seconds. We are full. You can, even the Store Occupancy Manager uses something else, what is Axis, like a, how to call it, black horse. It's Axis events, because those things, those alerts or commands are great for, you know, using third-party hardware or third-party systems. So for example, when the limit of the store is reached, our application generate Axis events that can play audio message, that can switch on the big red light, that can lock the door. Again, when it all goes down, when the occupancy limit goes down, mean people leave the store, it will open the door, play another audio message. So you can use far more applications together to make this far more better than having a one bodyguard standing in front of the store and counting people. So Store Occupancy Manager for the retail, and the funny thing is that we name it Store Occupancy Manager, and our first customers were libraries, churches, and casinos, and then retailers. So I would say it's for anyone who needs to manage indoor occupancy and not only stores and retail. So, you know, reception desk, as I said, museums, libraries, cafes, whatever, whoever would like to make possible the solution that you will know how many people is inside, and based on it, you want to show some graphics like come in or please wait. That's the general use case. Of course, we have added some marketing features like a digital signage, so you can display the weekly deals, special offers, and I personally have made the integration with face detection and Store Occupancy Manager. So when a face is detected, Axis event is generated that switch on the graphics telling put on your mask. For example like this, you can combine motion detection with overlays. So it's really like now it's about thinking how to use it in a smart way. And we are getting into this smart city, because imagine that sending the Axis event from Store Occupancy Manager can, for example, you know, provide some feedback to people waiting outside at the gate somewhere else. So it has these relations to all the nodes and peers of the smart city applications.
In the smart city, Pavel, I would add something which I saw as a true interest from the majors, especially of the cities. So when you put a camera in a city, you are creating the deterrence effect. So you are creating the awareness that the city is being monitored and the fact that technology is present there. And if you're combining it with audio, as Pavel was mentioning, like, you know, adding some, you know, audio to a specific area of the city and playing some messages of an interest for the city, then it's even better. When you're actually displaying those and you are going to put them on the city hall website, for instance, and you're going to give to the citizens access, everyone who is, willing to do something bad, in the city, they will be aware about the fact that the city has lots of technology watching it. So we are creating this discouraging effect that, okay, I will not do that, especially in the center. I will not destroy that, whatever. That's one aspect. And the second aspect that I see of a true interest, as you were mentioning, Pavel, regarding the integration, is when you are displaying some footages and you're adding to that data about environment, like for instance, weather conditions, emissions monitoring from, for instance, these devices like Vaisala, and you're adding those things directly into your video footages. It can be of a true interest for a lot of users of the management of the city. So they are able to get alerts, they're able to be pulling data and actually create afterwards some dashboards, and everything is there. And the amount of data can be exceeded to, I don't know, a humongous amount. You are not limited by anything. You can create different streams for different users and display what is relevant for themselves, right, Pavel?
We have a great example. Utah Department of Transport, Arkansas Department of Transport, these big traffic managing and traffic development companies are using our solution for streaming from highways, and radio stations and televisions are using these streams for informing public. They are telling people like, now what's the traffic situation, and now we are discussing, for example, adding the traffic detection data, and it's more about third-party apps, how to use these data. And then we will see, now streaming from the city is beautiful, but how about streaming the traffic situation?
Yes.
And it gets another use case, another opportunity, another meaningful reason, not only being like we are being watched. Now, how about making it smart way?
Yeah.
Thank you. Really, really, really interesting facts. And Bogdan, Pavel, I think we are close to the end right now. Thank you very much for your shared thoughts. It was very interesting for me, and let's select a few takeaways from today's edition of Axis Tech Talk. Be my guest.
Okay, so I will start. If I should select or if I should share some top information, I would say we know that the situation is different for many businesses. And the ultimate question is, what about using a streaming for creating new opportunities of a relationship with your clientele, with the customers, with the public? Because we have a lot of examples when, to the church, I don't know, 50, 70 people came usually. Now they moved because of the lockdowns, whatever, they moved into streaming, and they have 200 people joining the online masses. So it might bring a new opportunities for anyone. It's just about thinking about it more from a marketing point of view, or how to use these simple technologies. It's already there. You will just upload an app to the already installed cameras, or you will extend the feature of the security cameras and adding them this marketing flavor. So I would say, let's use streams and let's use a video content. The buzzword content marketing is wild around here. And the fact is that, all right, so how about thinking about live video as a potential marketing tool or communication tool? So I would say that that's the main outcome. And of course, that's the CamStreamer and CamOverlay used for. And CamScriptor and Store Occupancy Manager is more advanced applications. However, instead of having one person in front of the store and paying them, how about using a smart solution when the camera is there working 24/7, half day it's working as an occupancy, and the whole day it's working as a security? So I would say, let's use the machines for people's work and make the people's life easier.
I agree with you, Pavel. And I would actually add, seeing is believing, guys. And what we can do, as Pavel was mentioning, we can always provide you with the hardware and the software to test it out in order to be able to understand what are the advantages of these kind of solutions. And as we were mentioning during our discussion, it's very important for you guys to share feedback with us, because your feedback is the most precious thing of becoming better together. And those informations will help us help you. And when we're saying help you, it's only about the needs of your customers and, you know, to get things being done, as Pavel was mentioning, by technology. We have the skills, we have the platform, we have the resources in order to make those things happen. We just need your desires in order to make them be possible. Thank you once again for everything, guys.
Thank you very much, Pavel. Thank you very much, Bogdan. It was a really very productive discussion today, and I'm looking forward for our next edition. Maybe Pavel will join us again in the future. Greetings from Bucharest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well. Greetings from Prague, and as we say, happy CamStreaming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.